So, what storyline would you like to see in a fantasy thing?
Something a bit different. Something that isn't a dragon in a castle.
I want it to be made for like older people, not kids-ish.
So, Avatar.
No, but I don't want to see something that's already been made because the fantasy
of
genre
course.
is very much dragons and princes and castles. If I'm gonna watch fantasy, I don't want to see that.
A huge dog.
That's done.
Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
this dog could help someone through their life, and this dog can talk to them, and it's a fantasy dog, but it's actually not real. It's a robot, but they don't know it's a robot, but it's actually a real dog.
And then they wake
And
up.
it turns into a real dog.
Isn't that a bit more of a sci-fi than fantasy?
No, fantasy could be anything.
That's sci-fi.
No, it's not. No, space is sci-fi.
Yes.
Well, technically
Aliens
anything's
is sci-fi.
Science.
So that also could be
I
fantasy.
could make a film about me
fancy.
making an atomic bomb. That could be sci-fi. Good science.
So-
fancy.
Like, what if this guy, right? He has a dog.
We're not coming up with an idea. We're helping you on the genre.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true. So what? Tell me more about genre, fantasy, characters. Yeah. What characters?
Well, you need to have a lead, someone who's strong, someone who's fierce, someone who
Strong
progresses
and
the story.
fierce. Yeah. Could there be any different type of character for a main character?
We could have a love interest.
Love interest. And then what could happen during the movie?
Well, the love
You
interest.
never know.
Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, that's just
Cheers.
terrible.
Well,
Beauty
you need to
and
have
the
a
Beast.
You also need to have some
Wow.
parental figure. You need an imposing parental figure.
An opposing parental failure.
Imposing parental figure.
Figure, not.
So you need to have the protagonist feel in the shadow of their more successful parent, and because of this, they feel intimidated with their love interest, and they do it as a cry for help.
Thank you so much. So, what type of characters would you like to see in a fantasy movie? You could name any like type of characters.
I would probably have characters which are maybe aliens or people that are maybe like aliens or monsters, something that you would find a way on an adventure,
So it's like
and you would then fight like a big evil monster that's got some sort of nasty powers or has something that they can do to hurt someone else.
What about the main characters? Like
Main
that we
characters,
go on a journey with?
I would say a human, because then you can have lots of different sorts of nasty plants, animals around him that he's new to, which just shows the fantasy of it and the potential of having different things.
Like-
So a human
like
would be a good
plant-
main character.
like like a last human or something. But
Yeah.
would you
Or
want?
a person who's accidentally an astronaut who could have gone into outer space and maybe accidentally gone into a black hole to a different planet. I would say people, like a group of people that end up on this mystical planet that they then find a companion like an alien or a monster or a tiny gremlin, who knows, that they then find along their adventure, and they then go on with that companion, and some of them may be lost along the way, but yeah.
What type of music do you expect to see? Like, just give me any type of music that you would think in fantasy would be like.
It depends what type of fantasy. If you've got like fantasy of, say, like something like Spider-Man, you'd have quite like action, like fast-paced, upbeat. But if you had something like, I don't know, like Tangled or something, it's quite happy, and so it really depends which fantasy.
Okay, what about you?
For fantasy music, I would probably want to have adventurous, fun music, but more adventurous, because adventurous shows that you're looking forward to what's going to happen, and since it's fantasy, we'd want there to be magic, something that you wouldn't normally see, so music that would be new to you, that shows you're in a new world, on a different planet, doing something different that you would not expect to do in the real world.
What locations would you think you'd like to see in a fantasy like genre?
I would probably want to see locations such as being in places like underground, like a dwarf mine, where there are lots of work things happening and going on, lots of metal being clanged and stuff, lots of noises, and floating islands with waterfalls flowing down and lots of chains coming down so you can climb up them. And I would probably have also different volcanoes that could have habitable people inside them, and a magical church with nuns inside them.
Alright, so in a fantasy, what type of music do you expect to see? Like, just give me any type. of music that you would think and fancy would be like?
It depends what type of fantasy. If you've got like a fantasy of, say, like something like Spider-Man, you'd have quite like action, like fast-paced, upbeat. But if you had something like, I don't know, like Tangled or something, it's quite happy. So it really depends which fantasy.
Okay, what about you?
For fantasy music, I would probably want to have adventurous, fun music, but more adventurous because adventurous shows that you're looking forward to what's going to happen. And since it's fantasy, we'd want there to be magic, something that you wouldn't normally see. So music that would be new to you, that shows you in a new world, on a different planet, doing something different that you would not expect to do in the real world.
What do you guys, when you hear the theme, the genre, that fantasy, what do you think of?
I think of medieval things like The Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones because it's kind of synonymous the genre.
That's good. What do you think?
What was the question
Fantasy. When you think fantasy, like what type of characters, what background noises, scenery.
Supernatural characters.
Yeah.
I think of like Disney.
Like magic and, you know, just like loads of things happening. But it's more childish, it's not more like grown up.
Yeah, when you think of fantasy, you don't really think of adult things. I mean, there's definitely more adult productions that are fantasy, by definition, but you don't think of a serious show when you think of a fantasy.
Fiction.
Yeah. What scenery do you think of?
Like open fields,
Green,
castles.
But it can be anything.
Dragons.
Forests.
So fantasy is anything impossible or improbable.
Did you search it out?
No.
Alright, thank you guys so much.
Imagine